something I find myself saying to myself a lot and others is trying to conceptualize it into words, but like listening without listening. And so much of the universe and space-time and us and all that glamorous cosmic stuff has so much empty space in it. Like, it's one light speed to travel to the moon. And then our next galaxy is like, it would take like Andromeda. I can't remember, because now I just meditated. Like more than 400 zillion years to get to the next, light years to get to the next closest galaxy. So there's like us, and then the celestial body that we're floating on called Earth, and then we have the moon, and then the sun, and there's like millions of other galaxies. And so most of everything that exists is actually vast emptiness, stillness, silence. And so to listen without listening is to say that we can listen to the space between words, including our own thoughts, the space in between our own thoughts. It's actually possible to think nothing. And that nothingness, the practice, the process, is the gateway to, well, the quantum field, but also you're able to go into thoughtlessness, where you're connected to basically empty space, which is like the Dark Mother. It's like universal oneness is here. And we, as a human species, can access this state that is connected to the galaxy and beyond, to find that here in our home of our bones is much ability and superpower that we can access. But because we've all been thinking so much, instead of trying to be still and quiet, we are clouding our judgment. We're staying in our illusions, and such as evolution does, we are all shifting right now together, and we're in this bit of what feels like chaos, but chaos is not actually random. So we're transitioning, and that's beautiful at the same time as it is highly energetic. And so we can ride this wave and expand with space-time as the planet and beyond is also changing. And we don't like to hear that or process that because we're coming out of this sort of science revolution, basically. So we have like Newtonian physics, which is super important. But at the time that this connection that mapped the planets and space and connected that to these framework of equations, there was a time period where we are dealing with monotheism and the church is mostly in control. And then you have this science that sort of contradicts some ideas because monotheism sort of took God and spirit and made it leave the planet. And this sort of says, here's a scientific explanation about physical matter and how it can interact with spirit. And we created physics and metaphysics because the church was like, all right, well, we'll take care of the spiritual stuff, you guys take care of the physical stuff. And that's the time period that we all are coming from. And then there becomes, in some period of time, quantum physics, which says, Newton, you're cool, but there's more to this that connects us all to spirit, and says that through the still point, the zero, it's just like, think of the matrix of all the numbers. The zero of consciousness, the still point, is an access point, a portal point to the quantum field, which is oneness and full awareness. And human beings can access this technology when we're not sick. And most of us are sick because of this disease of our own species not being in harmony with nature, because nature and all of life is also interacting with this quantum field. And nature is programmed to bring balance. And before we got all on our high horses and started always being in our thoughts, which are basically things, we think thoughts and they become things, instead of not thinking so much, so we can stop wanting more and more and more and more and more, so we stop destroying our planet to satisfy our thoughts. We could be in harmony with nature and be experiencing divinity right here, right now, because human beings are the gardeners of this planet. We are supposed to be working with nature and the elements and tending to the soil, and instead we're burning it all down. But I don't feel as if that is forever. We're moving into this new period of time where quietness is important, because people's nervous systems are they've had it. And so the old ideas are leaving and the new ideas are coming in, and that's what feels like the chaos. But all of that said is to make the point, the bridge, that actually science and physics and metaphysics and spirituality, for most of time, we're existing as the same thing. And then we put all these names and labels and boxes, which is basically just describing the forces that already exist. And we're just saying this is new, even though all the animals and the planets and the plants already know everything. We're not listening to them. And truthfully, there's this beautiful unity happening of spirit and science. And I speak on this just to inspire hope, but to realize that it makes a great impact, each of our individual efforts in creating a better home for ourselves on this beautiful planet by necessary, sustainable changes and shifts. Because if you don't, then you will suffer. And who wants that? And one of the best ways to connect with the quantum, with the planet, with the heaven, all of it is daily meditation and quiet time. And you continue to practice distilling and feeling into the body, because this is the wisdom right here. This is the portal right here to that quiet space, that connection to all that is. So we'll take 3 sacred breaths and integrate all of that. And remember that you don't have to remember anything. You just get to be now.